Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson in using auxiliary phrases in Chinese. And this lesson grew out of a conversation which we had earlier in today's second year Chinese class. And I thought it'd be useful for us to examine some of the most commonly used auxiliary phrases in Chinese. I suppose it's relevant in the Irish educational context because when you look at the draft Leaving Cert specifications for Mandarin Chinese, it helps us to understand the requirements for the beginner learner of the language. What's interesting about Chinese when you contrast it with some of the modern foreign languages are that, there are no grammatical genders or cases in the Chinese language. So these modifiers become more important in helping us to express whether an action has taken place in the past and has been completed, whether we are able to do this action, or whether we intend to do the action at a future date. So, it's interesting to help the beginner language learner develop their language ability at an appropriate level, similar to A1 in the CEF4 framework for foreign languages. So the core sentence structure that we should be able to master is the subject, time phrase, location, action, and object. Always very important to include the time phrase when you are typing or speaking Chinese. So this guides your listener or your reader in understanding the context in which you are communicating, about which you're communicating. Okay, so some of the most useful auxiliary verbs in Chinese. Hui, which means to be able to do something, but it can also be used to indicate that something will happen or that someone will do something in the immediate future. Le is used to express the completion of an action. Shang is used to express your intention to do something. So it's a kind of an aspirational phrase. It doesn't guarantee that the action will be taken in the future. And yao, used to express something you want or need to do and plan to take action on. So there's a stronger intention behind the use of yao in Chinese. It suggests that this action will happen in the future. So when we look at hui, the sentence structure is subject plus hui plus verb plus object. So, 我会说汉语. I'm able to speak Chinese. 我会看书. I'm able to read books. 我会踢足球. I'm able to play football. 他会玩电脑游戏. He is able to play video games. 你会打篮球吗? Are you able to play basketball? If you want to negate the meaning of the sentence, you simply put bu in front of hui in the sentence structure. So it's subject plus bu plus hui plus verb plus object. 我不会说汉语. I'm not able to speak Chinese. 我不会看书. I'm not able to read books. 我不会踢足球. I'm not able to play football. 他不会玩电脑游戏. He's not able to play video games. 你不会打篮球吗? Are you not able to play basketball? Third auxiliary phrase that we should become competent in using in our everyday use of Chinese is le. Simplest way to use le is to just put it after the verb, and that shows the listener or the reader that the action has been completed. So it's very simple. It's subject plus verb plus le. So, 我看了书. I read a book. 我做了早饭. I've made breakfast. 我踢了足球. I've played football. 他玩了电脑游戏. He has played video games. 你打了篮球吗? Have you played basketball? Now, very importantly, with time, you must clearly give the time context in which the events are happening in Chinese. So it's a good idea for you to use the time phrase anyway. So in this case, you can either put the subject or the time phrase at the beginning of the sentence. So it can be subject plus time plus verb plus le plus object, or time, subject, verb, le, and object. Examples would be 我今天吃了早饭. So this morning I ate breakfast. Now it gets a little bit more difficult when we contrast yao and shang in the sentence. In a general way, both auxiliary phrases mean to want. So yao is often used for something you want or need to do, and something that you plan to take action on. So in this case, there is a stronger intention behind completing the verb. When you're using shang, on the other hand, it's much more aspirational. There's less of a strong intention that this activity will be completed in the future. So shang, on the other hand, often conveys an idea on your mind. So it may or may not take place. And in a way, it's kind of like saying, I would like to do something in English. So if we look at yao first, the sentence structure is subject plus yao plus verb plus object. So 我要看这本书. I want to read this book. I want to read this book. So that suggests, there's a strong intention behind completing the action. 我要吃早饭. I want to eat breakfast. Perhaps you're hungry, so there's a stronger intention. Now it's definitely going to happen. So, I'm hungry. 所以我要吃早饭. I want to eat breakfast. Therefore, so 我要踢足球. I want to play soccer. 他要玩电脑游戏. 他要玩电脑游戏. He wants to play video games. 你要打篮球吗? 你要打篮球吗? Are you able to, do you want to play basketball? So this suggests the context might be that somebody's on their way to the basketball court and they're asking you to accompany them. So, there's a strong intention behind the use of yao with the verb to play the ball game. So again, it's important to recognize that shang often conveys an idea on one's mind. It's much more aspirational. There's no guarantee that this action will be completed in the future. So, 我想踢足球. So, I want to play football. 但是我脚疼，所以我不会踢足球. So, but my foot is sore, therefore, I'm not able to play football. So there's no guarantee this action is actually going to be completed in the future. So if we look at shang, when we use shang, it's again subject plus shang plus verb plus object. So 我想看这本书. I would like to read this book. 但是我没有钱, so I don't have money, so I can't buy it. 我不会买. I'm not able to buy it. 我不会买. 我想吃早饭. I wish to eat breakfast. 但是我没有钱, so I don't have money, so 我不会买. I'm not able to buy my breakfast. So 他想玩电脑游戏. He would like to play video games. 但是他不有Xbox, but he doesn't have an Xbox, so he can't play them. 你想打篮球吗? 你想打篮球吗? Would you like to play basketball at some unnamed day in the future? So that's it, guys. I hope you found this class useful. 谢谢，再见, and I'll see you in our next online class.